And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it.
I have a hard time believing that this would not have been reported and blown up into a story. I wonder, are there police reports?
Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. It's the rivalry that's got everyone talking, but now it's gone way beyond the court. We're about to dive into the dark side of fandom that's threatening to change the WNBA forever. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You won't believe what Angel Reese just dropped on us. She's saying Caitlin Clark's fans are out of control. We're talking death threats and AI-generated nude pics. That's not just crossing the line, it's obliterating it.
Post pictures in my bathing suits. No, like multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me like naked, literally.
Really?
But it gets worse. Reese says some fans are actually following her home and showing up at her address. Can you imagine that? These two are supposed to be the future of the WNBA, but now it's turning into a real-life nightmare for Reese. This whole thing is blowing up, and people are taking sides. You know what's crazier? The backlash Reese is getting for speaking out. We're about to break it all down, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming next. Now, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect. Ever wonder why one player can turn the WNBA upside down? The answer lies in some crazy numbers that'll make you rethink everything you know about women's basketball. Check this out. Caitlin Clark's games are pulling in an average of 15,300 fans. That's not just good, it's insane, especially when you compare it to Angel Reese's 10,200. We're talking a difference of over 5,000 people per game. That's like filling up a whole arena section with just the extra Clark fans. But it's not just about butts and seats. Clark's rookie season, it's breaking records left and right. She's the first WNBA rookie ever to rack up 2 triple-doubles. And get this, she's leading the league in assists as a rookie. That's unheard of. You know what's even crazier? Clark's on track to dish out more assists in a single season than anyone in WNBA history. Oh, and did I mention she's also set records for most points by a rookie and most three-pointers in a season? This girl is not playing around. Even Reese can't deny Clark's talent. She straight up said, Caitlin is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. Game recognized game, right? But here's where it gets wild. Clark's games aren't just games anymore. They're events. Her first playoff game, it pulled in 1.84 million viewers. That's not WNBA numbers. That's approaching NBA territory. And you know what happens when you've got those kinds of numbers? Cha-ching! Clark just signed an 8-figure deal with Nike. That's the kind of money that changes lives, changes leagues, changes everything. People are loving Clark not just for her skills, but for who she is. She's humble, she's real, and fans are eating it up. It's like night and day compared to all the drama surrounding Reese. So here's the thing, Clark isn't just changing games, she's changing the whole narrative around women's basketball. Fans are rallying around her, looking up to her as a role model. Meanwhile, Reese's allegations are stirring up all kinds of controversy.
It's been that. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans.
You're telling me your family members, if they really cared about you, wouldn't have told you 9 months ago, like, Angel, put on some damn clothes.
You've got to wonder, is all this success, all this attention on Clark part of what's fueling this rivalry? Is it pushing some fans to go too far? Are Reese's claims a reaction to feeling overshadowed by the Clark phenomenon? Hold up. Reese's claims about Clark's fans, they're not adding up. Critics are tearing into her story, and the reasons why might shock you. Is there more to this drama than meets the eye? And turns out not everyone's buying what Reese is selling. Some big names are calling her out, and it's getting ugly. Jason Whitlock, never one to hold back, is leading the charge. He's saying Reese can't cry victim when she's putting herself out there like she does. You know what's wild? Whitlock went as far as to say, nobody has sexualized Angel Reese quite like Angel Reese. Ouch, he's basically saying she's bringing this on herself.
And as you mentioned, Jason, nobody has sexualized Angel Reese quite like Angel Reese.
Stomach out, breasts barely hidden, legs front and center everywhere. She has sexualized herself.
With her social media game. But here's the kicker. Where's the proof? Reese is making some serious allegations, but she's not backing them up. No screenshots, no recordings, nothing. And people are starting to ask questions. You can't just throw out claims like that without something to back it up, right? This whole mess is making fans think twice about how players and fans interact. Should players be more careful about what they post? Are fans crossing lines they shouldn't? It's not just about Reese and Clark anymore. It's about the whole league. Some folks are wondering if Reese is just trying to grab headlines. I mean, she dropped these bombshells right when she launched her new podcast. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's got people talking, and not in a good way. You've got to wonder, is Reese really a victim here, or is she playing the game? Fans are split. Some are rallying behind her, saying we need to believe women when they speak up. Others are calling her out, saying she's just jealous of Clark's success. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about image. It's about responsibility. It's about what happens when the spotlight gets too hot. Reese and Clark are supposed to be the future of the WNBA, but right now it's looking more like a reality show than a sports league. And you know what's crazy? This could change everything. The way players use social media, the way fans interact with their idols, even the way the league handles player safety. It's all up in the air now. So here we are, stuck in the middle of a he said, she said situation. Reese is standing by her story, but the doubters are getting louder. And with no hard evidence on the table, it's turning into a battle of public opinion. You think this is just about Reese versus Clark? Think again. There's a storm brewing in the WNBA, and it's about to change everything. From racism accusations to threats of fan boycotts, the league is facing some serious heat. Are we witnessing the beginning of a major shakeup in women's basketball? Reese isn't just talking about Clark's fans anymore. She's pointing at something way bigger. In her podcast, she dropped a bombshell. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it. That's not just trash talk. That's a serious accusation that's got everyone talking. But here's the thing, Reese isn't alone in feeling this way.
It sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that, and now seeing other players even having to go through that. But like, and I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it.
She's tapping into a bigger conversation about how black athletes are treated in sports. It's not just about what happens on the court anymore. It's about what these players deal with every single day just for doing their job. And you know what's crazy? The WNBA is feeling the heat. Fans are threatening to boycott if things don't change. They're demanding better protection for players, not just from other players, but from the fans themselves. Can you imagine going to work and feeling unsafe because of the people who are supposed to be cheering you on? Reese opened up about how hard it is, saying, it sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that. And now seeing other players even having to go through that.
I have a hard time believing that this would not have been reported and blown up into a story. I wonder, are there police reports?
In the WNBA, launches her podcast by taking an immediate shot, in my view, at Caitlin Clark.
It's not just about her anymore. She's worried about her teammates, her rivals, everyone in the league. This whole mess is forcing us to look at some ugly truths about women's basketball. It's not just a game anymore. It's become this battleground where race, gender, and fame all collide. And the players, they're caught right in the middle of it all. Think about it. These women are supposed to be role models, superstars, but they're dealing with stuff that would make most of us quit our jobs. Death threats, AI-generated nude pics, fans showing up at their homes. That's not fandom. That's straight up harassment.
It's literally a game. We have so much fun with it, but when it comes to death threats, when it comes to people finding, like, I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, follow me home. Like,
I don't think Caitlin Clark has hatred towards me. What has Caitlin Clark done to you? Nothing.
The WNBA's got a big decision to make. Do they brush this under the rug and hope it goes away? Or do they step up and make some real changes? We're talking better security, stricter rules for fan behavior, maybe even new policies about how players interact with fans online. But it's not just about the league, it's about us, the fans. We've got to take a hard look at how we treat these athletes. Are we building them up or tearing them down? Are we crossing lines we shouldn't? The way we act, the things we say online, it all adds up. This could be a turning point for women's basketball. Maybe, just maybe, all this drama drama will lead to something good. A safer league, more respect for the players, a better experience for everyone, but it's gonna take some serious work to get there. So here we are, watching this all unfold. Reese and Clark aren't just rivals on the court anymore. They're at the center of a storm that could reshape the whole sport. The question is, what happens next? Are we going to see real change, or is this just the beginning of an even bigger battle? So where's women's basketball headed after all this drama? It's like we're standing at a crossroads and the next move could change everything. The WNBA is under pressure to step up their game when it comes to player safety. We're talking better security, stricter rules for fan behavior, maybe even a whole new playbook for how players and fans interact online. But here's the thing, it's not just on the league. Us fans, we've got a big role to play too. The way we act, what we say online, how we treat these players, it all adds up. Are we building them up or tearing them down? This could be the wake-up call women's basketball needs. A chance to make things better for everyone. But the big question is, are we ready to be part of that change? Or are we just waiting for the next big scandal?